All right, this is a June 5th meeting of the Wellfleet Housing Authority, and it's being recorded. And we are going to start with Richard's minutes of May 6th. Does anybody need to see them or have any additions or corrections? Shall I screen share them? I will try to do that.
I sent them out to everyone again last night. I hope I got there.
Okay. This was the May 6th. Mia, you weren't there? Sarah was?
I can't vote, right?
If,
I wasn't there.
I think if you've read the minutes and checked up on anything you needed to check up on, you can.
Okay, yeah, I did read them, but
It's my understanding.
okay.
Yeah. All right, are there any additions or corrections? If not, may I have a motion to approve the minutes of May 6th?
So moved.
I'll second. All in favor, Gary,
Aye.
Mia,
Aye.
Richard,
Aye.
Elaine, aye. Thank you, Richard.
Richard, it's been so long. Did you have a beard before the pandemic?
My beard is since 1971, Gary.
Very good. I was just thinking about I should shave, and then I said, well, maybe I'll let it go.
Let it go. See what happens.
Or you hippy dippies, you know.
All right, the bills are next on the agenda.
Okay. I have a number of bills to ask for approval for payment. The first one is to Homeless Prevention Council in the amount of $787.50. That's $787.50. And that is for the emergency housing assistance. So they are down to one person on that, one family on that program.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve $787.50 to the Homeless Prevention Council for the emergency rental assistance.
So, second.
Any more discussion on that? All in favor, Gary,
Aye.
Mia,
Aye.
Richard,
Aye.
Elaine, aye.
I have a request to pay rental assistance in the amount of $2,547. $2,547. And Richard, I'm just going to ask, that's the figure I have. Does that correspond with what you have?
That's what we're at. Yes, Gary, it does.
Okay.
And this is
$2,547
for July.
for July. I'm sorry. Yes.
Elaine, can I say something here? Well, let's finish with this, and then I'd just like to make one comment.
Well, we should make a motion and then we have a discussion about it, Richard.
Oh, okay. Let's do it that. Right.
Someone has to move them.
Okay. I'll move $2,547 for July rental assistance. Any,
Second.
Richard, second. Any discussion?
I would just like to say Maggie and I are now checking in once a week to see if there are any changes. And we have a meeting scheduled for June 22nd to review all of the regular rental assistance, so that at our July meeting, we can be up to speed for whatever's going to happen August going forward.
Great.
And I will also say here that Elaine and I did have a meeting with accounting consultant, Lisa Sauve, I believe her name is, and also the new interim town administrator, Charlie. And I'm sorry, Elaine?
Just
And
clear the
we hopefully have gotten cleared up the payments, but they were delayed. So, Richard, you may get some feedback on that, but I understand they're being processed this week.
Okay, thank you, Gary. Good
Okay.
to know.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve the July rental assistance. Any more discussion? All in favor, Gary,
Aye.
Mia,
Aye.
Richard,
Aye.
Elaine, aye.
Um, I have two bills from the CDP for the technical assistance they've been providing under contract, consulting contract for us. The first is for April, and that is in the amount of $1,593.75, 1593.75. The second is for $1,237.50, and that's for May. So that is 1,237.50 for May, for a total of $2,831.25. $2,831.25 for the CDP.
So moved, I'll move that.
Second,
Okay,
I only have one comment. Elaine, I can't remember what's the start date for our annual contract with them, and do we have to look at that? Not just, I don't think it's today, but I think we should put it on the agenda for
right.
the check.
I think it was more like November or for some reason, but that could be HPC, so we'll look at that.
Right.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to pay $2,831.21 for technical assistance to the community development.
Excuse me,
project.
Elaine, it's 25 cents.
20, okay, oh yes, 25. All in favor, Gary,
Aye.
Mia,
Aye.
Richard,
aye.
Elaine, aye.
I have not checked on any other bills, so I don't
I
know if
stopped at town hall yesterday and there was nothing else.
very good. And one last item on Richard, we have a request from CPC to provide reporting on the $370,000 grant for regular and emergency assistance. And that was passed in September town meeting.
Right, I asked Richard if he could,
Richard, right, you're doing the, sorry, that's what I'm saying. Richard, you're doing the
I think I'm doing emergency.
right,
emergency, and I'm doing this standard rental.
Is that right, Elaine?
yeah, just a
Yeah.
brief report,
And we have a CPC meeting on the 16th, so if we could have it for, let's say the 10th next week,
Well, I'm going to try to do my piece this afternoon.
as am I on a rainy day. So if you want, Richard, we can trade, exchange and make sure that our figures match and then send them in.
Okay.
Under that heading, I wonder, we briefly just want to say that it looks like the town accounting person at the moment wants us to submit any CPC expenditures through Mary Rogers.
I did see that email. I think that's something we have to talk through and see. Does that?
Right. Yeah.
My concern is just that it will add time and
Right.
process without any value.
Right, so we'll follow up on that.
Yeah.
Maybe we just have to let Mary know we're doing it.
Right, we can talk to Mary too.
Okay, next on the agenda is support for town meeting warrant articles, which includes, first off, the ADU bylaw. Sharon has worked very hard, along with support from Helen and myself and Olga, to do a very extensive frequently asked question sheet, but also shortening it to potentially hand out and put in the town meeting packet, right, Sharon?
Right, and we're also feeling out the idea of putting it in the news store window with the,
Right.
with the code, so people can go to the FAQs
Right.
without standing on Main Street reading them.
Yeah, I do have the shortened sheet. And did we share the longer Q&A with FAQs with everybody? I'm not sure that we did. I'll definitely send that out to all of you because it's attributed to a working group from the Local Housing Partnership and the Housing Authority. The shortened version that Sharon worked on is very catchy. Can you all see it?
The trick is trying to get people to think what you want them to think without campaigning.
Right, it has to be informational. So it has a short paragraph and then some bulleted points that are taken from the longer FAQ sheet.
If there's anything missing, please let me know, because it can always be.
I'll send both out to everybody after the meeting. And if you have a moment on this rainy day, just take a quick look and you can shoot Sharon any potential comments you might have. Everybody involved has worked on this for quite a bit. So we're.
But the final bell is in sight.
Right, exactly. And down here where it says code here, Jeff Tash is waiting to put the whole FAQ on our housing website. And then we will also, if the town is going to have their usual, what they did last year on the town website, all the town meeting information, including info such as this.
That would be on the forum post. I guess we should ask. I'm not even sure who we ask, whether it's Danny or the forum.
Well, I guess we shoot it by Danny and then Rebecca could put it if they have a whole town meeting info page, which they had last year. They had the video that Jim and I made about the housing. I mean, the water. They had his fact sheet about the water right on the town.
I thought that was part of the pre-town meeting forum.
I'm sorry, what, Sharon?
I said, I thought that was all part of the pre-town meeting forum link.
Elaine?
Yeah.
Can I answer the question? If you want to get information out through the forum, you have to remember the forum is a private group.
Right.
You have to contact Sheila Lyons and I forget who else. It'll come to me to submit that kind of information.
Yeah, John Morrissey used to be very involved.
Dick Elkin, who's like kind of stepped up.
Yeah.
Who?
I think it's Dick Elkin who's stepped up.
Yes, you're right. It is Dick Elkin. Thank you.
But Helen, last year on the town website, they really had under town meeting information, they had lots of info that
Yes.
people from different committees and groups for people.
It was under the forum link though. That's
Okay.
all I'm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Other thing, I really do advise in terms of any kind of meeting like the forum that although it doesn't look as nice, that you do number the bullets, because people, when they ask questions, can then just refer to the number as opposed to groping for some language in that paragraph.
I sent you a copy with the numbers. I
Yes,
took your advice.
I'm just not looking at it now. Yes, I know you did. Yes,
No,
thank you.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
suggestion.
Wait, Helen, can I ask you a question, please?
Oh,
Helen, which is the select board ADU article number? What is?
I think Sharon would know. What
Is
is,
it 45 or 46?
It's the first one. I think it's 45.
yes. I think you're right. I'm a little hesitant because the numbers change so often, but I think Sharon's right.
I think it will always be the first one of the two, though.
Yes.
They're the last thing on the agenda?
Are
No,
they?
no, they're not.
Okay.
I don't believe so. No. I'm going to stop yakking and just start listening. And good morning to you too, Gary. Okay.
Sharon, could you send me both the most recent, the long one and the short one?
Yes.
And then I'll send them out to everybody. I'm not sure I saw the one with the numbers, but I think that does make sense. People can ask about a specific.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Mhm.
I think it was a great idea. So I will send that to you. Yes.
Okay, is there anything else you'd like to say? Anybody want to say about the ADU bylaw and town meeting?
Could you
Well, just
put
so
the-
long. Oh,
No, I'm sorry, Sharon, go ahead.
no, we just wanted to make sure that we, still have support.
I was just going to ask that. So I have two questions. Should we do it on Facebook, and should we as the housing authority, since we're the first to look at this officially, should we vote on it? Is there something to vote on?
I mean, we voted to support the article, so I
Right.
don't know that we need to vote on this list,
Okay.
but we should be getting it out there, right?
Yes. But, so before we put it out though, I've sent it to Stephanie and Scott.
Okay,
And if I haven't heard from them by tomorrow, then I'm just going to go ahead and send it to Danny because I want it to go by Danny before I put it out anywhere publicly.
okay. Alrighty.
Do you have anything else on this topic, Elaine?
No.
I sent you the CPC write-up because the other,
I didn't get it.
well, I'll send it to you again then.
Okay.
But the CPC is proposing support for all the CPC articles, and the biggest one is the 500,000 for the trust. And before we leave the support for town warrant, is there anything else we need to do on that? Is we the housing authority or we the trust, you think?
Well, I think the trust should definitely talk,
Right, should we the housing, we were the applicants
right.
at
Right.
that time. Yeah.
Trust, yeah. I think we'll just coordinate that with the trust.
Okay.
That's the one you were working on, right, Gary, or did
No, Mary did.
Mary did it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next on that list is wastewater for 95 Lawrence. I don't know what article number that is actually. Well, we voted it last time, so. And I would assume for the most part, that the wastewater committee is going to do the majority of the support for that. But I have to check. I think that was that mine or yours to follow up on, Gary?
I think that one was yours, Elaine, but if
Okay.
you want, I can take it, and I just sent you the CPC one.
Okay, that'd be great. I mean, just follow up with them to see if they're preparing a sheet,
Okay, so you want me to? Okay, and do you want to describe the grant application?
Right. Somehow, at the last minute, the town decided to submit a Mass Works grant application for the wastewater treatment plant. I don't know how much they're asking for in the grant. That was information we don't have, but Gary and I were asked to help fill in the parts related to the housing development on the grant. It's due this Friday. I think we're almost there. So we've been helping Rebecca Slick with the pieces that we can contribute. Anything else about that, Gary?
The only thing I would say is, Elaine, we did submit a letter of support,
Right. Oh, right.
and perhaps we should just endorse that letter.
Right. As we did last year for the water system grant, we submitted a joint letter of support from both the Wellfleet Housing Authority and the local housing partnership to be appended to the grant, because they do request a few support letters. So shall we vote on the Wellfleet Housing Authority supporting?
It's
The gr-
already done. Is it not already done?
It's
Well,
submitted, but now we're endorsing it.
Got it. Okay. I
It-
move we endorse the letter submitted in support of the wastewater application.
Excellent.
Grant.
Second,
I second. Oh, Gary
Yeah.
seconds.
now Mia can second.
I second.
All in favor? Gary,
Aye.
Mia,
Aye.
Richard,
Aye.
Elaine, aye. We also got another really nice joint letter of support from Sarah Peak and Julian Sear. And our new acting town administrator, Charlie Sumner, also has to submit a letter of support as the CEO of our entity, the town. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. Okay, so then the next one, the CPA funds for the trust, we'll coordinate that effort with the trust, whether we need well, I'll look at what Mary did, and then we can share that with Harry and see what we need to do. Next on the agenda is the update on the Housing Angels project, brochure, summer events. We've been working with the CDP to get text for a brochure, which is Sharon has been submitted to Darren to start the design work.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't heard back from him, but he's probably out golfing. So he'll be back soon.
Yeah.
It's raining.
And the intent really of the brochure is to try to encourage some major donors for funds, for land, for houses. Hoping
Yeah.
everybody will respond to it, but really trying to try to interest some people that might be able to give major support.
I think it's, for everybody else, it's really awareness raising, but also hopefully trying to get people to start thinking about themselves as part of the solution in one way or another.
Mhm. Okay, and did you want to highlight any of the summer events that are planned?
Well, yeah, the three major things that we have that we're working on, and you probably have heard before, but is Lee Witherspoon is orchestrating a oming for home. So hopefully she'll have a different instructor each week of July and August, who will donate the proceeds from their class to the housing trust, but also kind of talk up the trust and talk up, why we're doing this just a little bit. And Ann Suggs is coordinating gallery owners to perhaps have a painting or piece of art related to home that this would be a different gallery each week again, and the piece of art wouldn't be donated, but would maybe the gallery owner would give the commission to the trust or something. But it's really more awareness raising and an opportunity to hand out brochures, and my housing buttons will be on display and for sale. with the proceeds going to the trust. And but the piece that I'm most excited about is Susan Spear is kind of leading the charge on this. We're on August 11th at Preservation Hall, and the time is yet to be determined. We'll be doing and I don't think we have a title yet, but it's a housing story slam and musical review. And I'm so excited because Stephen Russell is going to be emceeing it. That's just, I have so many fond memories of Fuel for Fuel, and this kind of, carries on that tradition in a different way. And Stephen is also going to be coordinating the musicians, which is also like huge. So I'm delighted by that. And we have some storytellers lined up, and we're working on getting more. And Stephen and Susan Spear and I will be meeting tomorrow to kind of rough out our plans a little more in a little more detail.
Great. I mean, all those events are where the brochure will come in really, really handy for, the
Exactly.
instructors and the gallery owners to have available handout related to what they're doing. Yeah, great. Good. Done. Well done. Lots of work.
I just have one question. Richard, I've been remiss about doing a letter thanking the donors. I know you sent out our usual thank you. How many are there, and do we have a list of those names and addresses?
I got from Elaine the check page. Let me reel myself in. Elaine gave me material on 48 donors.
Okay.
I sent out a week ago 46 of our old little thank you cards. The two I did not send out had only names on the checks, and I told Elaine I have to pursue addresses for those. So
Right.
46 out of 48 went out.
So roughly.
And Elaine and I had a little discussion about whether it should come from the trust or who it should come from. And my feeling was we had these, and a thank you is a thank you is a thank you, and we'll go with that.
Yeah.
So we did that, and so I have the data, and I made a copy. I wrote down the names and addresses with the dollar amounts of all of the contributors. Yes, so I have that.
That's great. Thank you, Richard. I really appreciate it. All I was thinking was we could send a letter with the brochure thanking them for being an angel and promoting the stuff about the summer fund, and that is in the brochure. If that's what we want to do, and we have some mailing costs that we have to approve for that. So if they're 50, a relatively small amount, but let's say $50 to mail them out, if you think that's a good idea.
It might be I think maybe for the donors over $500 and over, that might be a cool thing
Okay.
to do. I don't know if sending it to the people that gave $25.
No, but they are supporters. I mean, again,
Right.
we're just trying to get the word out.
Yeah, I did think that some of we had several $1,000 donors and one $5,000 donor, and it felt like they might deserve
Sure.
a special letter, and that certainly could be special with that stuff in it.
Okay.
Gary,
So,
Send them
Elaine,
a button.
No, people have to pay for those.
so
I don't want to muddy the waters, but Elaine and I were talking about the fact that perhaps at some point we have to change the method here, and this needs to be kind of taken over by the trust.
we agree, Richard, I think.
Okay, all right.
Right.
So, but I think in the meantime, I'm
Right.
okay with using up the cards and saying thank you to people whatever way we can.
So
Yeah.
Richard, if we think we want to do it for only the larger, well, actually, do you have it in a form you can send?
I don't, but
Right.
I did not do it electronically, Gary, because it's an envelope stamp handwritten address kind of system. So you want to know how many big donors we have,
Well,
or is that irrelevant?
either way, big is a relative term, but
When you,
I'm at over 100. How about,
100 or more?
yeah,
most of them.
Richard.
I'll borrow a Saturday Night Live thing. Talk among yourselves and I'll count. I'll be
No,
right
wait.
back.
Oh, I see
There's
Helen
no-
has, I see Helen has her hand up, so let's.
Yeah, what I'm not hearing any of you mention, and having been a donor to various things with very small amounts for many years and now larger amounts, the thing I want most is an acknowledgement that includes your not-for-profit number in the thank you letter or card. It could just be a card, and the amount that I donated so that I can put it with my tax material, because that's what you need at the end of the day. You need to have something that you don't have to plow through your own paperwork to get.
A receipt, Helen.
It's a receipt with a thank you, and I get a lot of them these days, and I
Elaine?
really need them. Thank you.
Now that I think about it, this might be the way to transition it to the trust. Is that letter would come from the trust and still do the same thing. Yeah.
May I just say, it's whichever entity receives the money, and I think it's the trust, it should come from them, even if somebody else does the paperwork.
Yeah.
Right.
And that if it's a $25 check, that person should get it too. I understand about postage and so forth, but really,
Mhm. Well, everybody did get it, and our little card does have that info on it. So I think we're good with that, but we do have to transition it. But
Right. I'm sorry to bring it up.
you can understand how overwhelmed Harry was, and he agreed to let this one go out, using what we had to start with. Yeah, but you're right. Okay, we have received at least $15,000 in donations. I picked up one more check yesterday that I'll let you know the info on that, Richard. And that may be it for now from the tax insert, but it was well worth doing.
So Richard, there's absolutely no rush, but if you can either scan or copy what you have, we could arrange to get it.
Right. Let me see what I can do.
No
There
rush.
are about,
Say 50.
there are about a little less than half, about 45% of, let's say 23, $100 or more out of the 46. So about half.
Thank you.
Richard, I could pick that up from you and just make a photocopy and get it to Gary.
Let me see if I can, I have a little scan thing on the phone. If I can do that, it'll save you a trip.
Well, I was just going to say, Richard, you take a picture on your phone and text it to us. That'd be great.
Yeah, well, that's what this thing does. But it takes 3 pictures, so it gets a pretty good copy.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah, so I mean, with that nice infusion of cash plus the $20,000 or $25,000 gifts we got, that's some real angels there. Richard?
Okay, before we move along, what I'm hearing is going forward, we're interested, this other mailing will be a brochure. And what else in that envelope?
Maybe a list of the summer activities
Okay,
and the
all
letter.
right. And that's going to go to, we'll take a look at the list and we'll figure out who to send it to. And we probably can't go wrong by sending it to everybody.
Right. Okie dokie. Helen, you have your hand up? I'm assuming that's done. Okay, next is the work that the trust did with Mass Housing Partnership as part of that grant that we got. And they used an exercise that we gave them a list of what we thought our strategies and tasks were, and then assigned them to which group we felt should be responsible, and then some interconnections. Those of you who I sent it to and hadn't seen it before, wondering if you have any response to it, if you think things should be changed around. This will be the basis for a group meeting of our 3 entities at some point. So anybody have any response to any of this? I think it makes it obvious we have a lot going on.
Elaine, I
Richard.
want to just say something, and it's just a personal comment about this stuff is, I'm not good with all these arrows. That's been the case for more than half century. So it's nothing about this chart. It's all about Richard. But I would say that as I look at each box without the arrows, I'm happy to see what's being thought out here. And that would be, the elements that the chart contains is what I'm speaking to. So that's the only comment I would make.
Mhm. Well, I assume that the housing partnership will help facilitate a group discussion about this, and at some point we'll more or less kind of finalize it in some form. And I hope that will help us kind of, we're sort of all doing all of everything. And if we can actually break it down so that one group is more responsible and not having to think of something else, that may be very helpful. I hope it'll be helpful. Gary, you'll be bringing this to the partnership at your next meeting, right?
Yes, which is on the 10th.
Mhm. I mean, in general, you can see for the housing authority, it's continuing and assessing the programs we already have, working across towns, and also potentially looking ahead. Our housing needs assessment and plan goes through 2022. We'll probably want to talk about the potential for doing another one and trying to have it be certified as opposed to just approved. But I think that also depends on creating housing. So those are sort of the main things for the housing authority. For the trust, you can see it's a lot financial, but also basically taking over the development piece. And for the housing partnership, it's a lot of outreach, education, looking at zoning, and working within the town.
Elaine,
Can I just ask, so with regard to the housing authority and the trust,
Mhm.
If the financial responsibility moves to the trust,
Mhm.
then just take any of the ones we have, but a contract that we have with homeless prevention,
Mhm.
is that contract going to transition to the trust and they're going to make and approve the disbursement of money, the control of the money, or
Well,
stay with housing authority?
yeah, I think that'll be a discussion that'll be helpful to have with everybody and with MHP. But I would think that maybe if it's associated with programs that we are responsible for, we may be authorized. We may be given the budget through the trust and authorized to make the requests and do the financial work. But somehow we have to have a nice straight, clear method for doing those things.
Right, again, we don't want to have it, we approve it and then they approve it and then CPC approves it. On right, $1,000 payment, right.
Yeah, it'll be nice to try to work out a method for that isn't, everybody doing it all.
Right, but there is some legal implication since we've entered into the contract both with CPC and with the providers.
Yeah. So those are good questions, though.
From my perspective, it does seem like it would be better for the housing authority to continue administering the programs that they're leading, that's not really what the trust is doing. But I feel, and this is just my 2 cents, obviously, I'm not even part of that group, but it feels like the trust should be engaged in like bigger picture kinds of things. Maybe I'm wrong, but
Elaine?
Yep.
I just had an unstable connection moment, so I may be repeating something that somebody said, but in my head, the big picture here is the effort to fix the housing situation in all kinds of different ways and make it better. And I know it's in here, but I just want to say it so I'm at peace with myself, having said it out loud. And that is a big part of this for me is also not the fix part, but the help part. And what I mean by the help part is keeping people in housing that they already have. And we do that with the rental assistance program. And we've done it during the pandemic with even though it's been on a small scale with the emergency housing assistance. And it may be a small piece, but every time we help somebody stay in the housing they have, it's one less unit of housing that needs to be recreated, or created or fixed. So anyway, thanks for letting me say my piece.
No, of course. I mean, these are the things we want to hear and get out there. In terms of the big picture, I think that's a really great thing. We've talked about mission statements and visions and haven't come up with anything about that. But the big picture term, I think, is a very important thing to put this at the top of everything.
Yeah.
Good. I'm going to stop sharing this. We have a, I don't know when our next meeting with Mass Housing Partnership is, I forget. But any other comments you have about that as they come to you, like those, the statements you just made are really helpful in continuing to put it all together.
Elaine, I have it as June 30th.
Okay,
Wednesday, June 30th at 10 o'clock.
thank you. Alrighty, any more on that? Next are our updates, and I want to apologize because Richard, I feel I should put updates about the home consortium on this going forward, because you are going and you find out things, or so I'd like to make sure going forward we
Well,
include
just Elaine, just to ease your mind, we did not meet. We didn't meet in May. Rennie's mother passed away, and the meeting was just canceled. So there was nothing to report from May.
Okay, next time.
Yes.
Definitely, right. And thank you for representing Wellfleet there. It's important. It's a wonderful group. I saw the list of people that go, and
Yeah.
what a great group.
Yeah. Well, I'm just, this will be my third or fourth meeting coming up, and I'm, have never been to an in-person one. So I'm just finding my way along.
Great.
Could I ask in that regard? So we've extended the Zoom until September, the ability to meet, and after that it's uncertain, or do we have to ask the town to meet?
I read just this morning in the Boston Globe that the state is, the state is discussing whether to make it a permanent
I
possibility.
don't know if the September extension is official yet, actually, unless it became official today. But the assumption is, from what I've been hearing doing my job in various towns, is that there's going to be some option for Zoom indefinitely. We don't really think that they'll take the option away altogether because people are petitioning so hard to keep it. So we'll see.
I was gonna say, at some point, we should put that on our agenda, Elaine, to see what we want to do when we have a better idea of what we can do.
There will definitely be more clarity by the 15th, hopefully before, so we're not scrambling, but certainly by the 15th, so before our next meeting.
Do you know if that means that, that groups have to meet on Zoom? That, I mean, they have open meeting, they have to be on Zoom?
No, so the Zoom, so the way it works is that if you are meeting on Zoom and keeping the public out, you have to, sorry, if you're keeping the public out, you have to meet on Zoom because that's how you get real-time public access. But because the town hall buildings are now no longer closed to the public, or they shortly won't be, in theory, you know, anyone can come in if you want. So if you're meeting in person, you can let people come in person. If you're meeting on Zoom, you just have to let people join your Zoom. That's basically how we think the setup's gonna go from now on.
Good.
Okay, well, great. Mia, you can definitely keep us informed on that.
I will. As soon as they inform me, I'll inform you.
Great, great. We should have an update from you too on how all your work is going. We'll put that on next month
Sure.
with all your connections across towns and everything. Okay.
That's interesting. Yep. Mhm, for
Yeah.
sure.
First on project updates is the buy down program. We actually, there's a house going, it's not on the market yet, but it's going to be shown this weekend for $342,000. And Kathleen Nagel alerted us to that. And Gary and I have reached out to the CDP to alert our buy down people. He's let Jason and Elizabeth know, and our assistant town administrator. It's 5-day road, and Kathleen Nagel is going to show it this weekend, and offers are going to be due Monday. And
Wow.
she invited us, if we wanted to take a look at it, that the door should be open today. It's 5-day road.
And we can just go over?
And she said, if anybody asks, just say Kathleen said it's fine.
Do you know if the owners have any incentive to sell it affordably? Because they're gonna get, you know, 1.3 million offers.
Oh, right. People are going to bid more. I don't know. That's a good question.
If we can persuade them to actually sell it for that price for the purpose of affordable housing, we probably have a better shot. Because I know the way it's working now is people are just coming in, handing hundreds of thousands of dollars over the price. So
Right. I know. Well, you know, this is the first house on the left from Route 6. So it may not be quite as attractive to, I don't know, but we'll see. But at 342, even I guess our buy down people could offer up to the maximum price that's allowed for a 3-bedroom. That's an interesting question, if we would accept over the asking price.
I
Yeah.
don't think we have any, I can't think of any restriction, but,
Yeah, as long as it falls within,
right, the guidelines.
but
Pretty hard,
anyway,
right?
apparently it needs some work, but Kathleen said it has the potential to be really cute. It's on 15,000 square feet. It would have room for equipment for a shellfish family.
can she
Is-
get a communication to the seller about maybe selling it affordably?
I can run that by her.
She may feel ethically constrained in that
Right.
regard.
Yeah.
And that's true, but surely she could mention it as an option. You know, you have no obligation to do this, but if you're interested, then here's the information about affordable housing in Wellfleet, and that's an option. And if not, feel free to do what you'd like to do.
It's only 850 square feet, so
Wow.
it's
It's an ADU.
And 3 bedrooms, so they must be small.
Right, it's a little house.
But I was going to run over there after this meeting and take a look, because usually we do try to look at the potential buy down homes. So that's the story. I mean, It would be great if it went to somebody local year round.
Elaine, when are you going to be there?
I'm gonna basically go 15 minutes after this meeting's over.
Um,
I have to do it before 12.
okay. All right, let's talk at the end of this meeting. Maybe I can meet you there.
Yeah, Gary's thinking about it too.
I might be there too.
Yeah,
Oh, well, we probably don't all need to go separately. Why don't we just say 11:30 at the house? And who needs a ride?
Well, I'm out on Lieutenant Island, so I don't think anyone's going to want to give me a ride.
All right, Richard?
What's that? No, I'm coming from a whole other direction.
Okay, then
Yeah,
Elaine,
we can just all meet there
right, we
or
can.
go and just go and look and see. Yep,
Okay,
it's a 5-day road. Okay. 95 Lawrence Road. So we talked about the grant application. There's going to be a site visit for developers, an info session and site visit on Friday, June 11th. Representatives from the town will be there, the town administrator, assistant town administrator, somebody from Bowler Engineering, hopefully someone from Environmental Partners that can talk about the water and the wastewater there if there are questions. We're going to have a sort of dress rehearsal, right, Gary? On
she hasn't actually sent out the information, but yes, theoretically on Wednesday afternoon.
it's not something I want to encourage other people to come to because it really has to focus on the developers and the questions they're going to ask and the people that can ask those questions. So I think that has to, and we don't even know if developers will come. I hope they do or send a representative, but that's the next big step with that.
When is that happening?
It's going to be Friday, June 11th at 11.
I promise I won't go.
I mean,
I might want to, but never mind.
yeah, I know. It's should be very interesting.
Yeah.
And the deadline for proposals is August 2nd. And anything more to say on that? Anybody? Any
It'll
questions?
be here before we know it.
Right. I'm gonna skip Freeman Avenue for now. Payne Hollow, we got some information from Ted about Payne Hollow. And the negotiations with abutters are continuing. It sounds like Ted had agreed to set aside some potential land for well or water if needed, but the abutters are asking instead to possibly set up an escrow account. So that will be something the trust will have to talk about. But it looks like maybe there's progress. And that would be 8 more units. And that project is perfect for that small scale community development grant, which supposedly there's not a lot of competition for. So maybe we'll see some movement soon.
Sure is a long time coming.
That's for sure. I think, with our campaign and the angels and everything, it really is, I don't know if it will help convince any abutters that something they've been fighting might be time to stop. And
Well, you got to try whatever you can try.
that's right.
And when isn't there supposed to be a court date for the Old Kings Highway piece?
Sometime in August, yes. So maybe all of a sudden things will boom.
It sure would be nice to have some reward.
We skipped over Freeman Avenue. I completely understand why, but one thought just occurred to me, Elaine. Could we expand the contract with Habitat to include Freeman Avenue as a multi-site?
I don't, I think we talked about with them and that they, you know, they have their ZBA approval. They'd have to go, it would just be a whole starting all over again, I believe. But we, you know, I thought we looked into that, but we could ask again, but
Right, I don't remember the answer.
yeah, no, I think, you know, under the procurement and everything, it would have to go out.
Is it
Or-
worth an ask to either Habitat or to the town?
Well, let's start with Habitat. Yeah,
Habitat? Do you want me to ask?
you
I'll
bet.
look through my email, see if I
Mhm.
find anything. If not, maybe I'll ask.
Yeah, but I think because of procurement, it has to just
I
start from
think you,
scratch.
I
that
think you
one.
are correct.
Yeah. But I feel like, you know, if there's a chance that they might be starting up with the other four, if we can get one more into their basket, if they could handle that.
And would we be in a position to sole source it? Could we just add it to that without going out to?
Yeah, that I don't believe we can, but
Elaine,
yes.
if you would, you talked about Habitat here in terms of what's on the agenda, and that was relating to Old Kings Highway?
Mhm. Right.
Okay, and there's some, and is it in August? Is that,
There's a court date in August sometime.
thank you.
Yep.
All right, you didn't have it, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Well, our next meeting would be on Thursday, July 1st. Assuming virtual at 10 o'clock. And I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Right?
Second,
Okay, all in favor, Gary,
All right,
Mia,
aye.
Richard,
Aye.
Elaine, I. Okay, thank you all. See some of you at 11:30 maybe.
Great.
Elaine, don't go
Thank
away.
you,
for a
Elaine.
minute.
Thank you. It's great to
Elaine, do you,
have you here, Mia.
Great to
Elaine,
be
do you want
here as
me-
always.
do you want me to pick you up or vice versa?
Sure, if you want to, that'd be great.
Okay, see you a little before 11:30.
All right, Elaine, don't go away, please.